right, turbo flasher and micro turbo spinner is working. That fish is over there. He's fighting now, boy. Ah, just came off. Oh man. Boy, do they fight. That was awesome. Get some more corn on here and get it back down where it belongs. All right, micro trigger and a mini willow leaf in that reggae color. 47 feet. You can get this one in the boat. Woo, major league head shaking going on down there. See if we can keep them from jumping first. Oh yeah, nice fit. That is a good sized kokanee. In the net. Yes. All right. Awesome fish right there. What a beauty. Awesome. Awesome kokanee. What a beaut. Howdy guys, Kel Kellogg here. Welcome back to the channel. And if you're not already a subscriber, please take a minute to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification. You'll really be helping me out. I need as many subscribers as I can get. And if you hit those buttons, you're always going to know when I'm on YouTube talking about fishing. And that's exactly what we're going to do right now. The footage you saw in the beginning of this video, I shot that up at Bucks Lake. My wife and I, we spent a few days up there about a week ago, I guess. We were kokanee fishing. The kokanee bite was just absolutely phenomenal. The fish were great eating. They were hard fighting. Just a fun time all the way around. My first visit to the lake. I can't wait to get back up there during cooler weather. I want to chase some of those big macks that are in the lake. And of course, I want to get my trout on too. You know, part of being a successful angler is reflecting on what went right and what went wrong. At the beginning of the video, you saw me lose one kokanee. That was all my fault. And you saw me land another kokanee. That was all my fault too. So I'm going to reflect on why I lost the one fish, why I landed the other fish, and I think my conclusions are going to help you catch more and bigger fish as time moves forward. So listen up, because I know all you guys out there, you want to catch more and bigger fish, just like I want to catch more and bigger fish. Before we get into that, I want to show you this rod. This is the exact rod you saw me using in that video. Different rig though. This was my day 2 rig. But this is the exact rod you saw me using in the video. This is my signature series trout and kokanee downrigger rod. There is not a better trout and kokanee downrigger rod on the market when you factor in price, durability, performance. Let's face it guys, I've caught tens of thousands of trout and kokanee and landlocked kings. I built this rod from the ground up. It took me 3 years to build it, research, develop it, and bring it out in mass quantities. If you are looking for the best value, the most rugged trout and kokanee rod on the market, get on over to fishhuntshoot.com and we will hook you up. I busted this rod out of the package last November, fished it on the guide boat all season long, 7 months on the water, and look at it. It looks like it's brand new, and I'm still fishing with it. So very rugged, high performance, great price. Enough said. Arm yourself with the best. Get on over to fishhuntshoot.com and get one of my signature series downrigger rods. Let's talk about those fish. The first fish, that fish fought very hard. And I was doing pretty good initially, but I lost control of the kayak. I kind of lost control of the fish, and when the fish came up, I don't know if you can see it on camera or not, but when that fish came up, I was totally discombobulated. He jumped on the other side of the boat, and I think somewhere in the mix, I gave him slack, or maybe he just got off. But anyway, he had me on my heels. It's like he hit me with that left-right combination, and I was going down. So at that point, all the momentum was his, and I'm not surprised he got away. I totally lost my cool, lost my focus, and he got off, and it was his day. Now that next fish, that was a nice fish. Got that one on one of my micro triggers, which if you're not pulling spoons for kokanee, get some small spoons. You can get mine, you can get the wee Dick Knights, whatever. Small spoons, man, they're overlooked. They flat out fish. You should have some in your box if you're a kokanee guy. Work great for trout too. Anyway, that fish, I was ready for him. As soon as he showed any indication of coming up, you see me get that line, the rod tip down in the water. Number one thing you can do to help yourself when you're fighting a big trout or when you're trying to get a kokanee in the net is if those fish look like they're going to come up and thrash on the surface or jump, you want to get that rod tip in the water. And of course, you know, you want to be grinding on the reel. You never want to stop moving the reel if you can help it. You'll notice on the kayak sometimes I have to stop running the reel because I have to reach over here to steer. But when I do, I get on the pedals. Bottom line is you always want that tip loaded against the fish. Never want to give a fish slack. And the reason you don't want them jumping is, especially if you're using like a dodger like this, is when they jump, they have a good chance of developing slack in the line, and that gives them a really good chance of throwing a hook. If you keep the fish under the water actually cushions the fight, and it kind of, you know, weighs the odds in your favor in keeping everything in place. When that fish starts thrashing or when they start jumping, the advantage really shifts to them. And man, my heart always skips a beat when we're out at Collins Lake. We'll have a big fish on, and invariably we'll be on the big pontoon boat. Those big fish, I'm talking fish, you know, anywhere from 8 to 12 pounds, they'll come up and they'll be 30, 40 feet behind the boat. They won't like where things are going, and they'll start thrashing on the surface. Now, sometimes if I've got a guy that's pretty seasoned, I'll tell him to get the rod tip under the water. But a lot of times I'll have little kids and stuff that they've never really fished before. So if I tell them something like that, it's just going to make everything worse. So, you know, I have them keep the tip high and keep reeling. Usually things end well. But if you're out on the water, you got that fish of a lifetime or just a fish you want to take home for dinner, if they start jumping, get that tip under the water and crank the fish back down below the surface. The great Gary Coe, president of Kokanee Power, a great competitive kokanee angler, he taught me that years ago. He told me in a kokanee tournament, when you're in a kokanee tournament and you're fishing for money, if those fish start to jump, your chances of losing them really goes up. So he's the one that showed me, always stick the tip under the water and crank. I've done it, you know, with big king salmon, all kinds of different fish. Keep them under the surface, keep, you know, working the reel, as long as you got the drag set properly and you got some fresh, you know, line on there without a bunch of abrasions on it, things are usually going to end well. We don't keep numbers on this, but I'll bet you when me or Wes is on the guide boat and we're catching those big trout, I'll bet you we land about 90%, maybe more, you know, maybe 95% of the big fish we hook. That's primarily because of our fishing style. We keep a light drag, we make sure the knots are perfect, and the line is fresh. Beyond that, we advise our people, don't pump the fish, don't do any of that stuff. Tip up and reel, and if we got a guy that can handle the advice, if the fish starts to thrash, tip down, crank the fish below the surface, good stuff happens. Anyway, that's my perspective. One fish lost, one fish landed. The thrill of victory, the agony of defeat. A salmon dinner escaped me. Anyway, you guys have a great day. I'll catch you next time right here on YouTube. And if you're looking for any of that gear, the rods, the blades, the spoons, Shoot.com. Thanks a lot, guys. I'm Kel Kellogg.